What an embarrassment. If this were the pathetic Olympics, Skip Bayless, he would be a gold medal winner. Seriously, how pathetic can you be? This once proud man who wasn't afraid of anyone, he has allowed himself to be verbally neutered. He has been so traumatized that he is begging for someone, anyone, to accept him. The presidential election, it's about 7 weeks away now, which means that the pandering is reaching all-time highs. Saw a report this morning that deacons at Woke United Methodist, they are pushing cackling Cam Harris to do a one-on-one interview with Paul Feinbaum. Now keep in mind, the leader of the cackling choir, she has not done a one-on-one interview since she announced that she was accepting the nomination of replacement loser from Johnny B. Biden. Everywhere Cam goes, her cackling choir follows. The deacons, they don't want her first interview to be conducted by CNN or MSNBC. They damn sure don't want Cam talking to Fox News. I mean, God forbid. She is pressured to give actual answers to questions. Well, Cam, how would you solve the problems that you helped create in the Middle East? Oh, the Mid-East! I love the Mid-East! I would solve the problems with laughter and singing. Let's all hold hands and sing together. I love you, you love me. Cam to the rescue in the Mid-East. We'll paint rainbows and spread the fungus of woke love. Timmy will provide cucumber gloves. Yippee! For her first one-on-one interview, the deacons, they are trying to set Cam up with Paul Feinbaum. What? Paul Feinbaum? The lead bum at the worldwide leader in woke? That Paul Feinbaum? Really? You're probably asking the same question that I did when I saw this headline. Why? According to reports, Commander Cam, she wants to speak with the leader of the bum squad because she wants to reach potential voters in the South. Cam believes that Paul Feinbaum has influence with Southern voters who are passionate about college football. I'll tell you what, Cam, I'll do you a favor. If you want to reach voters in the South, come talk to KC. I normally don't do interviews, but I can make an exception for Commander Cam. I'll add an extra chair to my desk. I'll make sure you're nice and comfortable. If you want to reach Southern voters, come answer my questions. Cam is clearly pandering because she's panicking. Even though she looked decent during the debate, her performance, it didn't change the polls all that much. The general consensus is Cam Harris lacks substance, which was the general consensus going into the debate. But the level of pandering that we are seeing with Cam Harris, it does not come close to the level of pandering that we are seeing with the increasingly pathetic Skip Bayless. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel in the description below. We're close to 2,000 subscribers over there in the first week, so if you want to continue supporting the channel, head on over there and subscribe. For months, I feel like I have been overly sympathetic towards Skip Bayless. I felt bad for him. This once proud man who wasn't afraid of anyone, he allowed himself to become verbally neutered, and he is essentially defenseless. Remember last year when Stevie A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe, "Hey, it's me, Shay Shay!" Remember last year when Shay and A, the two men who owe the resurrection of their media careers to Skip Bayless, remember when they combined forces and ruthlessly attacked him? They spent the entire month of September last year attacking Skip Bayless. And I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for Skip Bayless to retaliate. He never said a word. 10 years ago, this would have been a fair fight. But last year, Shay and A, They were in a verbal sparring match against a man with no mouth. But that's okay. That's okay. Now that Skippy is no longer being held back by the constraints of corporate media, he is promising to unleash his anger against his opponents. Last weekend was the immaculate return of Skip Bayless. As expected, it went over like a wet fart on a first date. When I saw the video on my YouTube feed, it caught my attention. Can't remember the exact title, but I do remember Skip Bayless promising to be unfiltered. I'm back with a vengeance! Welcome to Skip Bayless Unfiltered. Unfortunately, the unfiltered Skip Bayless, he is the same Skip Bayless that we have seen the last 2 years. After about 5 minutes, I turned it off. It was painfully boring. And the reason it was painfully boring is because Skip Bayless is still holding back. Skip Bayless is no longer Skip Bayless. The altercation that he had with the grown man who calls himself Shay a couple of years ago, that altercation, it forever changed Skip Bayless. This dude is scared. This dude is begging for acceptance from the black community and the mainstream media. A community that will never accept him. You don't have to take my word for it. Just look at his recent comments on Caitlin Clark. I would show you the clip, but in the past, Skippy has refused to approve copyright, which doesn't make any sense to me. Looking at his views on YouTube, or the complete lack thereof, you would think that Skip Bayless would appreciate people reacting to his content. Maybe it would convince them to actually watch his channel, because right now, Skippy is struggling. The only time Skip draws an audience is when he talks about Caitlin Clark. Problem is, he's afraid to talk about her. Well, Casey, why would he be afraid to talk about Caitlin Clark? She is harmless. She never responds to media criticism. Yeah, Skip's not afraid of Katie Rue. Skip is afraid of the shit fucks in the media and the dump divers in the WNBA who are jealous of Caitlin Clark. According to Skip Bayless, he is afraid to be complimentary of Caitlin Clark because he doesn't want to seem like what he calls a red state white guy. I can't compliment Caitlin Clark. People would think I'm racist. Our country's already racially divided. Oh my God, it's so painful. I can't use my white privilege to cheer for a white girl. That's just so wrong. Oh. Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. You're afraid to be positive about Caitlin Clark because you're afraid to offend someone? You're afraid that you'll be accused of mythical racism? Because that's exactly what it would be. Mythical. What the hell happened to the Skip Bayless that was fearless? What the hell happened to the Skip Bayless that wasn't worried about feelings? For 2 years now, Skip Bayless has been pandering. He has been begging. I mean, begging for acceptance. For 2 years, Skippy has lacked authenticity. And just look at what has happened as a result. Ratings for Undisputed, pooper. His YouTube channel is knocking on heaven's door. His contemporaries, they have hundreds of thousands, some have over 1 million subscribers. Whereas Skip Bayless, he's competing on YouTube with a dumbass like me and losing. Yesterday, Skippy pandered to the deacons at Woke United Methodist by complimenting Cam Harris. Oh, Cammy, your debate performance was stellar. It was so inspiring. I bestow my white privilege upon you and pray every hour to the woke oak tree that you can defeat Orangeman Bad. According to Skippy, that was the first political post of his career, and hopefully it was the last. I guess that's what he meant by Skippy Unfiltered. Look at me, it's Skippy Unfiltered. We are witnessing a man who lacks self-confidence. We are witnessing a man who has no idea who in the hell he is at 72 years old. Skip Bayless is no longer comfortable being Skip Bayless. He is trying to be a version of Skip Bayless that he thinks will get him accepted. It's never going to work. All Skip Bayless is doing is ruining his own legacy and publicly humiliating himself. I've got a lot of black men in this audience, the same black men that Skip Bayless is constantly pandering to. You know why they're not watching Skippy? He lacks authenticity. People can see through the bullshit. Whether I'm right or wrong, I tell you exactly what I'm thinking. Unlike Skip Bayless and the rest of the woke media, I tell you what is. There are no utopian fantasies on this channel. There is no pandering. I'm not pandering to black men when I say I like rap music. I grew up listening to it. I've been following the genre for 30 years. I don't need an endorsement from Lil Wayne to appeal to the black community. I was listening to Lil Wayne in 97 and 98 before Skip Bayless knew who in the hell he was. The reason Skip Bayless is struggling is because he's trying to be something he's not. I told you guys last year, when Shay and A were relentlessly attacking him, if Skip Bayless doesn't respond and fight back, it will end his media career. He was afraid to respond because he feared being labeled with mythical racism. Doesn't have to live with that fear anymore because no one is watching his channel. Now, some in conservative media, they are claiming that Skip Bayless is pandering because he wants another job in the media, which could be true. That could be true, although I don't know why anyone would want to work in the media nowadays. There's a reason that you're seeing more and more of these media personalities start their own platforms on YouTube. On here, they don't have to worry about offending corporate sponsors. They don't have to worry about management. They can do and say whatever the hell they want, within reason, of course. Maybe Skip Bayless is pandering to get another job in the media, but I don't think that's the main reason. I think the main reason Skip Bayless is doing this is because he wants to be accepted. He is desperate for acceptance. He's like the nerd in school who is picked last on the playground, except Skip, he's not being picked at all. If he was smart, if Skip Bayless wanted to draw an audience, he would quit pandering and start getting real. He would give his side of the story with what went down between him and Shay. He would give his side of the story with his relationship with Stevie. This dude has decades of experience working in the mainstream media. I'm sure he has countless stories that he could share, but he won't do it. He would rather pander than be authentic. Give me your thoughts on this. Skip Bayless admits that he is afraid to be complimentary of Caitlin Clark. Basically, Skip Bayless is admitting that he's afraid to be real. He's afraid to be authentic. Is this the reason for his demise? Is a complete lack of authenticity the reason that Skip Bayless is struggling? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. Appreciate your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, and I'll see you guys later.